Hey Booter, I'm Cooper, and welcome back to the PHS News. Today we have a short episode for you. First up, we would like to show you some highlights from some talks from Pooter's second TEDx event featuring some of our students and one of our amazing teachers. Congratulations to Mr. Wiseman, Reese McKinney, and Brooklyn Hartman.
Thanks for that intro. Thanks for being here. Seriously, it's been a tough year, and almost every teacher I've spoken with recently is feeling pretty burnt out. There's been a lot demanded of us. Morale is certainly less than optimal. And these last 2 years, these last 2 weeks, just been really tough.
In January of 2020, The Atlantic magazine published an article called The Miseducation of the American Boy, an excerpt from a book by Peggy Orenstein. And it talks about young men in America. It's an excellent article, but it tells a story of a frightening kind of cliched masculinity. Boys my age and younger that throw around homophobic slurs, hunt for sexual conquest, and slander their female peers behind their backs.
Through my personal experience and through structured research, I've learned that there are 4 distinct types of coaching. Democratic. A democratic coach listens to and observes their athletes and develops a loose plan. As the season progresses and as they get to know their athletes better, they're taking direct feedback to adjust the plan. Authoritarian. An authoritarian coach observes their athletes similar to a democratic style, but it lacks direct feedback. It is more of a tell, not ask, and is more structured. Laissez-faire. Laissez-faire is really not realistic in my opinion, especially for public school sports. It involves full control of practice being in the hands of the athlete. You as a coach are able to assist when asked, but have no say in what is specifically being developed. And finally, holistic style coaching. Holistic style coaching is the most realistic and reliable of the 4. It entails seeing the student athlete and understanding that everything in their life is connected. It's the idea that you cannot excel in one area without first focusing on other areas.
Want to move the needle on some little problems like racism, income inequality, global climate change, or, a worldwide pandemic, then you invest in education, and that's why we're here. These problems we face scare me, but they can petrify and paralyze our students. We need to ensure that they have the hope to endure and persevere.
The reason I didn't want to write about practice or the games was because I was being bullied. My coach was mentally and emotionally abusive. I remember being told that my LeBrons, the ones that I had just begged my mom to buy, looked like clown shoes. And I remember smacking my head on the floor after losing a breakaway, and instead of helping me stand, she stood over me and scoffed, telling me that I was wasting time on the clock. And I remember coming home after a 2-hour practice of torment and hurt, thinking that a world without me in it was a better one.
I chose this profession. Several of our colleagues moved on, they retired, they relocated, they chose a different career, and who can blame them? But so many of us educators came back. We came back. We come back to this profession despite the 1,000 slings and arrows, despite the disrespectful paycheck, the rude teenage behavior, and the broken bathrooms. We continue to come back to this profession again and again. Why do we do it? Because we believe in the mission, because we have hope, because we have this belief in our students, and we have this irresistible, irrepressible optimism, and this belief that we can maybe make a difference, sometimes despite evidence to the contrary. And we have this hope in our students.
It's crucial that we define a coach as someone that does not just improve your play, but as someone that improves your life. A coach can be a trusted adult, a mentor, and sometimes a friend. Coaches can be the first line of defense for student athletes, and we cannot forget that. Not all relationships are stable in a teenager's life, and if you're a coach, your job is to be someone that they can look to for support. Holistic coaches that work on mutual trust with athletes are game changers and should be the standard. I'm so tired of hearing these horror stories and everyone just brushing it off because they're just doing what any coach would do. They're just being hard on them. They're just being tough on them. I want to be taught by a human being, not by a playbook. And when all cards are on the table, win or loss, I still want you to see me and be inspired by the person you're helping create.
So let's stop calling it toxic masculinity, a phrase that makes it too easy for boys and men to say, "That's not me," as I did. Instead, call it whatever you like. Harmful behavior standards, damaging social norms. My point is, it cannot be about the phrase. It cannot be about the label. It has to be about seeing it in and around you, noticing its subtlety, even if you have to squint. In other words, be the man who opens that door. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Luke, and thanks, Cooper. Those speeches were so powerful. Want to watch the full talks? Just Google TEDx Mountain Ave to find their talks on YouTube. And now we have a message from Johnny, who's here to talk about a great way to get healthy and enjoy being outside this summer.
Hi everybody, I'm Johnny, and as you all know, it's almost summer, which means it's perfect time to go outside and get active. And for me, the best way to do that is biking. Biking is an effective way to lose weight, get around town, and just relax. And here are the 3 best trails that I think you will enjoy. The first one is my personal favorite, Spring Creek Trail. Spring Creek Trail is a pretty short trail, only being about 2.4 miles long. It has some gorgeous landscapes though, and is very helpful for getting around town. There's also a Dairy Queen about halfway through the trail if you want some nice snacks. The second trail I'd like to talk to you about is the Poudre River Trail. This trail is 21 miles long and stretches all the way from Island Grove Regional Park in Greeley to Colorado Highway 392 in Windsor. This trail runs all the way through Fort Collins and follows the Poudre River. It's great for getting around and also has some really nice scenery. And last up, we have the Foothills Trail. This trail is a lot more rugged than the others, especially considering that it is a lot less paved and it is mostly uphill. But what it lacks in smoothness, it makes up for with a great workout. This trail also gives you a great view of the entire city, and you get to see some nice wildlife too. Alright everyone, get out there and get healthy.
Thanks, Luke. I'm Zephyr, and I guess I need to learn how to ride a bike without training wheels. We have one more segment for the people out there who need something to entertain themselves with over break.
First up on the list, we have One Crazy Summer. After graduating from high school, artist Hoops McCain agrees to go along with his best friend George Calamari on a trip to Nantucket, Massachusetts. But after McCain and Calamari meet a rocker in distress, Cassandra, it suddenly looks like it's going to be one crazy summer. Second on the list is Lilo and Stitch. Lilo is a lonely Hawaiian girl who adopts a small, ugly dog, who she names Stitch. Stitch would be a perfect pet if it weren't in reality a genetic experiment who has escaped from an alien planet and has crash-landed on Earth. Through her love and faith and an unwavering belief in Ohana, the Hawaiian concept of family, Lilo helps unlock Stitch's heart and gives him the ability to care for someone else. Third up on the list is Surf's Up. Surfing means everything to teenage penguin Cody Maverick, followed by a documentary crew. He leaves his home in Antarctica for Kangaroo Island, a site for the Big Z Memorial Surf-Off. Cody wants to be respected and admired, and he believes by winning the championship will bring him whatever he craves. However, an encounter with a washed-up surfer geek teaches Cody about what's truly important. Final on the list is Grown Ups. Adam Sandler, Kevin James, David Spade, Chris Rock, and Rob Schneider play friends who come together and relive their childhood days. Grown Ups is pretty much like every other Sandler movie, but that's been released the last 15 years or so.
Hey, it's Alexis from the editing department. I just wanted to tell you that this was, in fact, our last movie recommendation for this year. Hope to see you all next year, and hope you loved all the movies we've recommended. See ya, and have a good day.
Well, that concludes this episode of the PHS News. Have a great weekend. And remember, only 6 more days of class until summer vacation. We've got this, Pooter.